Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Suzie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do.
And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sharing My Truth Pod. You're here with Mel and Suzie. Thanks so much for joining in with us today. And here's a sweet little friendly reminder to go to our website, sharingmytruth.com, where you can actually share your own truths with us, your opinions, whatever you're thinking about, or if you agree or disagree with any of our podcasts, we'd love to hear about it. You can also go to Share My Truth Pod at any of our socials, YouTube if you're watching, hello, or Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Hang out with us there, guys. We'd love to hear from you. Hey, babe.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
Wow. Wow.
How are you?
Fabulous.
Oh,
as
she's always
Marvelous.
fabulous. I know you've been dealing with some daughter drama.
I have daughters. There's always daughter drama.
It's so funny. Like
They're women.
if I had daughters,
Mm.
the drama would be nonstop, I feel like.
Oh, it is. And I deal with it all. And my husband always just says, yeah, I'd prefer not to know.
Yeah.
Just don't tell me. Do
Yeah.
whatever you want. Don't tell me. I don't want to know what you spend. It's too traumatic. So just keep me in the dark. And he's very happy in the dark.
Honestly, being a girl mom, that's some boss ass bitch shit.
Oh, it really is. And ridiculous questions, but yeah. And you deal with a lot, but
I mean, we were just saying like the amount of stuff you spend on your hair. And so, I mean, times that by 3 because
Yeah.
now you have daughters and,
Yes.
you know, they're becoming
yeah.
adults in society. So,
And
but
they're-
you still have to pay for them because they're
Yeah.
not done school and stuff like that yet. So,
And their expectations, like we were talking about Sephora and stuff like that, you know, if men went in there and saw what women spend, I mean, they'd have a hernia.
and it's just
it's
like,
nothing. It's like a
I
lip
have to
gloss
look
and,
like this.
yeah,
So I have to buy stuff.
100%.
Like, I'm sorry, but this is just the way it is. Guys think, oh my God, you're so naturally pretty. Like, why do you have to
Yeah.
spend all this? And I'm like, do you know why I'm naturally pretty? Is because I use all these grossly expensive
Yeah.
products for my hair, especially
yeah,
for my face, for everything.
and then treatments.
And they're like, why don't you just go to the drugstore? Just go to the drugstore. You fucking idiot.
Luckily, I'm married to a man who I've trained from a young age because
Yeah.
I've been married to him so long.
Smart.
And he's actually really gets it.
Use your
I
noggin.
mean, he always says to me, I actually don't get it at all, but I know it makes you happy and I know it's important. So from that point of view, I get it.
That is so nice.
But he doesn't actually get it in his own male way, but he understands it's important for women, which I think is all he needs to do. I don't need questions as to why.
It's just like if you want your little lovely lady who you're with,
Yeah, he does
to
get
look
that.
nice.
He totally understands that. He understands
then,
like
yeah,
you
they can do
can't
stuff.
go to like a nice event and you're turning up with, you know, wearing something from Joe Fresh. There's nothing wrong with Joe Fresh, but you know what I mean? He gets it. He totally gets it.
Well, Mel, what are
It's helpful.
we chatting about today, darling?
What are we? So just a caveat before you read it.
Yes, darling.
So it's about if you're together with somebody, what if you find something out about this person that they haven't told you and it randomly comes out for whatever reason and it's very shocking?
Yeah. Does it
what-
change your opinion about the person you've been with for years?
Yeah, and would it and shape the way like, oh no, they're a totally different person to me, exactly. And is there a level of what would shock you and what wouldn't?
Exactly.
So there we go.
Here we go, guys. So this person says, my wife, Hallie, and I have been married for a little over 4 years, and we have a 1-year-old child. Last weekend, we both had a few drinks when she revealed something to me that I never would have expected from her. Hallie said that back when she was in college, she used to work as a dominatrix to support herself. Get it, girl? I was taken aback, and since then, I haven't been able to look at her the same way. I realized this took place before we met, but I can't get it out of my head that my wife and the mother of my child is a former sex worker. Should this be an issue, or is it just something I need to get over?
Well, my first question is if she's a dominatrix, generally there's no actual sexing.
Sexy
Yeah.
sexy stuff.
I mean, I guess it's still technically a sex worker.
You are you're
You're
solving people's fantasies, kind of.
Yeah, but you're not actually often having sex.
No, yeah, you're just kind of
Does that make it technically
doming
legal?
this up.
That's a good question.
You
Is
could
it legal?
be topping straight guys,
Topping straight guys.
like fucking them,
Oh, I
pegging them.
see. Oh.
Technically you are. But I have no idea if this is what kind of
Yeah.
Dom stuff she was doing. But also, it's like if she wasn't, yeah, because Dom women aren't usually getting,
They're generally like sort of clamping your nipples and whipping you and shit,
Yeah,
like
and
wearing
then
the outfit. Like
make you clean their floors,
exactly.
which I love that
It's
part.
amazing.
Excellent job, ladies, that we
yeah.
figured that out.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, I thought they often weren't actually having sex.
I mean, this man does have to get over it because
But
one,
anyway.
it was a long time ago.
But
They're married, they have a child. She's this
Yeah.
back in college to make money. Good for her for figuring it out and still finishing college.
right.
Obviously, they have a beautiful life together.
And obviously it was before OnlyFans, so there's no evidence.
There's no evidence.
But the thing that's so odd to me is he says they had a few drinks. You're telling me this is when you like surely when you first start going out is when you have the more drinks.
Yeah.
So how has she kept it under wraps?
I don't know. It's actually very impressive that she's kept it for him for this long. Maybe they was
Yeah.
just like bringing up like funny things they were doing in college, and then she was like, "Oh, by the way, this is actually how I paid for college."
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's the
I
amount
know.
of what the
I have
to
so
think
many
about
questions.
this. Also, why did she stop? You know, she made this much money.
I have so many questions. How do you get into it? Number one, before OnlyFans and stuff like
Craigslist.
that. Really?
I don't know. I'm
could you
assuming.
actually list? Really?
Yeah, the personals or whatever.
That's hilarious. So you just go, oh, I fancy finding a dominatrix.
I'm sure there was like
sort of
special words or something. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
still special words. But I think it's the classifieds. It's like the personal
Right.
classifieds.
But I wonder what gets you into it. Must be a situation or something must happen. You can't suddenly go, oh yeah, I'm not going to make money. I'm going to become a dominatrix. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't blame you. I mean, fine. And at the end of the day, if she's fine with it, but the one thing I do think though is if she was really fine with it, she would have told him at the beginning.
I mean, obviously there's a certain level of shame, right? Where
Oh
you're
my
kind of
gosh,
like,
yeah.
this is how I made my money and I'm not ashamed of what I did because it literally got me to where this
Yeah.
point. But also, I don't want people to judge me from the decision that I made and it
And they
worked
will.
out for me. And they will
And they
judge you,
will.
obviously.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. So you kind of just have to hope that your partner is not going to make a big deal out of it, which obviously he's trying to get over.
Yeah, I mean, I think lots of things are going to be going through his head. Like, did they have sex? Obviously, then
Yeah.
that does lead into some questions about sexually transmitted stuff. Although if they've been having sex and they've had a baby, they should be fine. I mean,
You'd hope they've been tested by
yeah,
then.
I mean, I do understand why it's shocking because that society is shocked by this stuff. And I think also on another level, like you haven't told the truth or you've neglected the truth. And I guess, that can send your mind down all sorts of things. Like, what other things have you not told me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty shocking. I mean, it would in the sense that, what if she said, oh, yeah, I didn't tell you in college I was a cheerleader or something. You'd be like, okay, that's weird. You didn't tell me. But it's not shocking or interesting or sexy or anything
Right.
like that. So you'd be like, oh, okay. But because this is so on the fringes of kind of society and stuff,
Mhm.
people will be shocked. I mean, look, he's got two choices. He goes or he accepts it.
Mhm.
So if you love your wife and love your child, I suggest you have a conversation about it.
Well, yeah, and even just like asking more questions about it
Yeah.
to be like, hey, I love you. I just want to make sure that like, that I'm not mad about you for this,
Yeah.
but I just want to know more because I'm confused as to why you didn't tell me first up. And then you can be upset at that point about that she didn't tell you.
Tell you the truth, yeah.
But there is that thing about like, she can't change her past. You
No.
love her.
Yeah.
You've had a child with her.
Yeah.
You're married to her.
Yeah.
This is just something that is about her, but it's not who she is.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I there are circumstances and maybe, she obviously doesn't want to be connected to it anymore,
Mhm.
and which I understand. And, she doesn't want people to find out. And so you kind of keep it under wraps. But I mean, like I said, he's got two choices, accept it or go.
Yeah.
And if you accept it, my suggestion would be to talk about it. And most importantly, why she didn't want to talk about it and why it took so long and what suddenly, I mean, you know what it's like when you've had a few drinks. There's something, it's not like, it's still something she was thinking about telling him. She probably got to the point where I kind of need to tell him this for whatever reason, or I feel I'm hiding it. And so you're drunk and it kind of speeds it up.
Yeah.
But it didn't suddenly pop into my, oh yeah, today's the day I'm going to talk
tell
about
you.
this. I would imagine that she'd been thinking about it, or something's
Yeah.
happened that's
She's
triggered
wanted
it.
to tell you
Yeah,
for a
and
while.
then you've had some drinks, and because it's kind of top of her mind, it
Yeah.
kind of comes out, and that's generally what the drink does,
Yeah.
doesn't it? It's like when you fancy somebody, or whatever, and you had too many drinks, it'll come to the top.
And to be honest, this might also be like something that is a trauma. Maybe she doesn't even know that it's a trauma for her.
Yeah.
But it is, because she's
Yeah.
had to do this to pay for college.
Yeah.
Like she could have, worked at a Starbucks or whatever, but she
Right.
couldn't, or it was just didn't work. So she found something that actually was able to pay a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's not happy maybe about it. And she's a completely different person now. And she wants you to accept her for who she
Yeah.
is. And that's super hard, because it is sex work. And
It
people
is.
do have to get their mind around that. Like, would it have been different if she was an OnlyFans girl
Mm.
and, like there's
Well,
proof of that?
Surely
or
that's worse in his
I
mind,
know.
because then people would. I think it's the thing, we've talked about this in previous episodes, that in my opinion, you do what you have to do in life, and as long as you've made that decision freely, it's really up to you.
Mhm.
But often when you make choices about the things that you're doing, and maybe in some circumstances like this, sex work or OnlyFans or any of these kind of things, while you're doing it and while you're making the money, you're not really thinking about what's going to happen down the road.
Yeah.
You can't, otherwise you'd never do it.
Yeah.
And also, you don't know, in fact, until later how you're going to feel. And they do talk a lot about, there's a lot of like articles being written about, like, porn stars who then go on to be like, live completely normal lives, and it sort of, obviously it traumatizes them. And it's not that they didn't make that choice, it's just they don't know
How they're going to feel about
how
it
they're going to
in
feel.
like 10 years.
Yeah. And that people, even though you may want to go on and live let's call it an ordinary life, being a mum, living in a nice little house and having a sort of ordinary job or whatever, the rest of the world doesn't want to let you forget it.
Mhm.
And that's the problem. But if she definitely wasn't on camera on the internet, great. Nobody needs to know.
Yeah.
The only person that needs to know is her husband
Mhm.
and the dominated men. And hopefully they're in a different city. And if she was in full leather, maybe they
have
don't
no
know what she
idea.
looks like.
Well, and your
You
looks
know?
change.
Well, exactly. And you could, yeah,
And
exactly.
usually doms go by a different name, like
Yeah, I
like
would think so.
Mistress,
Yeah.
whatever her name was, Mistress
Yeah.
Sexy Bitch or something.
Yeah, it's just fascinating how you get into that.
It must have been from another girl at her college, because it's a hard thing I feel like to
it's not
figure
like,
out.
Yeah, it's a pretty,
especially when you're young like that. Like,
it's
how
niche.
do you? Yeah, it's
It's
very
very
niche.
and it's very, and obviously there are a lot of people into that, and there've been a couple of shows. I think we talked about this, the show Billions, which showed.
Yeah.
Which is from a few years ago, which showed, was it Billions? Yeah,
Yeah.
Billions, where one of the characters was into it, and he would go and see, he had this need for it, and he went to see a dom, but they didn't have sex. It was all about the pain.
And it's because it's
Which
not
is
usually about sex.
Yeah, so it's about pain, the line between pain and pleasure. And even there's a show recently, it's very weird. It's a spin-off of Yellowstone. It's called 1923. And there's a bit in it about kind of domination and submission and pain and pleasure, which is a very odd thing to have in the middle of a cowboy
Yeah, it's very
show.
weird.
It was weird. Anybody who's watched it, please, if you can explain to me what that had to do with. It was trying to show one character as being very evil, but it was a bit like, this is a bit odd.
Don't think you needed it for the storyline.
But it's like, wow. But yeah, it's such a niche thing, and you need to obviously be in a place where there is an audience for that.
Yeah.
And so you think to yourself, well, that would kind of be in a big city, and maybe if she was in school, but anyway, in college. But I mean, he's just gonna have to deal with it, I'm afraid.
Well, it's like, would he feel different if this was like her selling feet pics?
I'm sure he'd feel completely different,
because it's like a totally different thing.
because it's a foot. Who gives a shit?
Well, I'd be so curious to see what their sex life would be.
Yeah,
because
maybe it's really boring.
Well, right. Like, is it like she's bringing out all these dom things and he is really into it? And then he's like, oh, why are you so good at this dom stuff? And she's like, well, to tell you the truth,
Oh my God.
I was actually a dom in college.
That would be pretty funny.
And then he's like, oh, like, shit, you've done this for other
Yeah.
men. And then that's why he feels all weird about it.
that is very possible. Very possible, because that is the thing that I think often with men triggers, like if women cheat, that's theft. Oh my God, another man's.
Well, that's just like
has
another
been
weird thing,
there.
right? It's like men, I don't know if it's like an insecurity thing, and it has to do with like, our like women's body count, which I hate that
Yes.
term.
Yeah.
But it's like they hate to know that we have shared our body with another
somebody
man
else. Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Even if like I know my one girlfriend is dating this guy who's super nice. But he has a problem with her, and she's not, I don't think she's bi or anything, but like we've made out once, just like as girlfriends, like it's whatever.
As you do.
As you do.
As you do with your girlfriends.
As you do. And
not with my girlfriends, but this is Suzie we're talking
that's
about.
That's upsetting, Mel.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're all very disappointed.
I'm sure they are.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
But
sure
like,
they've
so
recovered.
he doesn't like when she makes out with other girls.
But does she do this on a regular basis?
I don't think so. I think it's just
is
like
it a drunk thing.
It's a drunk thing. It's like you just do it with like whatever. Who cares? It's not like you're having sex with them.
But okay, hang on. Wind back. Is this a generational thing where this is completely normal, that you should be okay with your girlfriend making out with other girls?
Just usually, I think like
really?
I think that guys are like, yeah, fuck, it's hot. Go make out with another girl. Who cares?
Yes. I think there are some.
It's not like I'm seducing her and being like, I'm going to lick your pussy next. Like, you know what I mean?
No. But I mean, I think some men are okay with it, but I think that must be a generational thing. I can't think.
You don't think your husband would be like, yeah, go make out with this other woman?
Absolutely.
Well, so then what do you mean it's a generational thing?
What I mean is, you're saying this happens a lot.
Oh yeah,
that is a generational thing. I think men
maybe just in my friend groups.
Yeah,
we're all more open. We're in the city.
We're getting to the point.
We're in a city.
Yeah, we're getting to the point.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. We've now solved.
Also,
puzzle.
I think I bring it out in women.
I think you probably
still try
do.
with you. No.
It's gonna be a long road, Suzie. But I mean, I know lots of friends who experiment in college, but
as
not,
they should.
but not beyond that.
Right.
Really. But whatever, you do you. But anyway, you're saying that your friend's boyfriend doesn't like the fact if she has a snog with another girl.
Well, right. But that's just like coming into the fact that like men don't want to think about women hooking up with anyone else but them.
Oh, I see.
Right? They like have this possessive thing that they're like, I can't believe you're damaged goods because you've done all these things with other people.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a weird thing to me, especially younger people.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I can see why older people were hung up in whatever we're hung up in. But younger people, I just don't understand how you can have a thing about it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because also, if you want somebody who is a bit more experienced and knows what they're doing, they didn't learn from YouTube, just as an FYI. In this particular situation, this is not a YouTubeable, learnable thing. Many things you can learn from YouTube. This is not one of them. But so I don't understand, because it is a weird thing. Like, young people, why are you're more open? And I say young, so anybody 40 down. Do you think it's not a female thing? Do females have a problem with how many?
Well, I think it's a weird
men have been.
No, because I think it's a weird thing that like men have. They literally want to know. They don't want us to tell the truth about our body count. Again, I hate that term.
Right.
They're like, oh, how many guys have you slept with? And we're like, oh my God, no, we don't know anything about anything. What's a dick? You know what I mean? And then we get down on them and we know what we're doing. And they don't think twice about it. They're like, oh, you just love my dick.
Your dick's so amazing.
Your dick is so amazing. I just like, it just brought all these things out in me. Even though she's sucked like 20 other guys' dicks, you're not going to think about it because you don't want to.
So going way off topic, but as a question I have for you, Suzie.
Sure.
So what would be, let's say, amongst the younger generation, younger millennials, what is an acceptable body count? What do they want you to say?
Oh my
5?
God. For a woman to say to a guy?
Yeah. So let's say you're
none.
28.
I think 2. I think 2.
Oh, please.
I swear.
So if you're 28,
insane,
and you're dating a 32-year-old man.
Yeah.
He honestly thinks you've gone to 28 and you don't have a significant other, and you've slept with 2 people.
For me, I will always tell the truth because I don't care, and that guy's gonna accept me or not. Like,
right.
And I'd rather just like him. Either if he doesn't accept me, then I'm like, you don't deserve me and my experience, right? But I think, yeah, like if a guy's like, they're like, yeah, you want to minus by like at least 50%.
Wow. So what does that mean? Like 10? 5?
Well, I don't know women these days and how many men they've slept with.
Do they
you know
lie?
what I mean?
Do they lie?
I'm assuming women lie,
Please
and I'm
tell
assuming
us.
men lie because men want to think they're more, that they're sleeping with more
Oh,
girls
right.
than they are, and women are saying we're sleeping with less guys than we are.
Yeah, well, that's not changed. I mean, that's
right, but that's
since
what's
the
happening
dawn of
still.
history. Yeah, which is just to me insane. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
It
but
makes
that's the
no
same thing with
sense.
this. It's like, do you want her to lie about her past experience, or do you want her to be truthful about what she did in college?
But then I think that's perhaps the point, and we don't know. But the point is, he didn't ask her to lie. She just didn't tell him all the information,
Right.
which technically isn't lying.
No, it's
just
not lying.
It's just not saying.
She's not saying anything.
She said, I mean, so probably she said, I went to college, and it normally doesn't come up. How did you
And
pay
he's like,
for college?
what job did you have in college?
I mean, that doesn't come
I
up.
was a
does
dom.
it?
Super cash.
I mean, I think it's pretty fantastic. But
I'd
I
love
mean,
to learn how to be a dom.
it depends on the circles you move in.
Yeah.
I mean, small town America, it's probably not brilliant to bring that up at a local church
But
gathering.
if you live in New York, I'd be like, that's like every other street.
Completely normal.
There's a dom.
Yeah, New York's a crazy place. There's lots of nutso people there.
Of course.
But yeah.
Well, it's just less in the shadows. If you're more in middle
Yeah.
America, it's more in the shadows.
Yeah.
These things
I
are still
mean,
happening.
I have the same in Canada, the same in any country, I think. Yeah, just because obviously in urban areas, maybe it brings that. Does it bring the dom out in you?
It brings the dom out.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm going to keep saying the same thing. He's got two choices.
Yeah.
He stays or he goes.
Yeah, but he just has to ask her question. If he wants to stay.
But what if she doesn't want to talk about it?
She fucked up then because she already talked about it. You have to answer his questions.
You either have to never talk about it.
Exactly.
And why did she decide? Was it one drink more than usual, which I doubt?
I think it was just that she wanted to get it off her chest finally.
I think so. I think she wanted to get it off her chest. The drinks are quite frankly an excuse. And it's kind of, it brings everything that's kind of at the top of your mind, to the fore. That's what it does. And so she talked about it probably in a way that she was able to talk about it. So maybe now she's happy to kind of tell you the deets.
This should honestly be more exciting, I feel like, for him, because now he knows that she's much more sexually adventurous than he ever thought she was, possibly.
Well, there is that.
And so let's go with every single one of your fantasies, bud.
I mean,
you're welcome.
That is the positive side, isn't it?
I would think so. That's exciting.
But then what if he is really
hot.
Not into that and he thinks it's gross?
I think that having a dom as a girlfriend is less about you want to be dominated, but just more her wanting being able to be open, because I think a lot of women just aren't open to things. You know what I mean?
I do.
And so this guy just has to learn to be open now.
Well, I think a lot of women want men to dominate them. So a lot of women who are quite dominating in their life want the men to dominate them, and then that's kind of the reverse. So maybe this is also weird that she isn't like that. She's like submissive in their sexual relationship, and then he finds out she's a dom. That's gonna mess with your mind.
Well, she was but that's a kind of a good thing, because maybe it was just like she was just doing it for the money. She didn't actually enjoy it.
She was acting.
Come
on,
you're just dating an actress.
It's a job. And I really do think that most doms do not get involved in
the sexy sex of it.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
I would like
because it ruins the whole fantasy.
I really don't know much about it.
You would be a great dominatrix.
I could definitely.
I want to get you a latex outfit just for funsies.
Get my bosoms in.
I'm gonna chat GPT it.
I need a lot of baby oil.
I'm gonna
get
it.
No, I could do it easily.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I mean, I really do think there's this woman. I think I've spoken about this before. I've talked to you about it in the UK who's a dom, and she's become famous, and she's gone on all the British chat shows.
Oh wow,
this is where we are in Britain. We talk about this.
I
on
love that.
10 o'clock in the morning. Other countries they're like having nice cutesy time.
Yeah, of course.
And she's come on like national television and talked about what she does as the dom. And she doesn't have sex with any of them. And they all kind of come around to her house. And the great thing is they do all the handiwork. But they'll do it while dressed in a diaper with a dog leash on or whatever. And she's wearing stilettos and sticking the stiletto through their whatever.
Fucking genius.
But that's it. There's no sexual contact. They just want to be dominated.
Yes.
But in a very kind of, what's the word? Like, it's more than domination. It's like ridicule. It's like humiliation. That's the word. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have sex with them. I mean,
It's genius.
it's brilliant.
It's literally genius.
I mean, you don't have to have sex with them.
Yeah.
They
get
pay,
your washing done.
They pay you, and they like paint your house and do all this other stuff. And all you have to do is wear stilettos. And also, she was like quite a sort of ordinary looking woman with glasses. I mean, I love it.
And if they don't do it right, then you fucking whip them and they do it again.
I mean,
it's
win-win.
Genius.
It's win-win.
I really have always wanted to be a dom, but I'm kind of too submissive. I don't know how to do it. It'd be scary.
No, anyway, all power to her.
Yeah, honestly. So this guy's got to get over it. If he wants to ask questions, she has to be open to answering the questions because she's brought it up.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the only choice they've got.
I think they can get through this.
Oh, I think they can.
I think it's just more like you have to be open and you have to be like, that was in the past and we're here now. And I'm going to accept you anyways.
And maybe you'll find another side to her because, I mean, if she was like this little, like, cutesy girl who kind of wears flowery dresses and you could never, and then all of a sudden.
Well, because now she's a mom. So now you're like, wait, what the?
Like, what the hell happened?
To think a mom could be a dom is crazy.
Yeah, but even if she was kind of like a cute girl next door type and wasn't like maybe very adventurous and stuff, and then all of a sudden to like what?
I know.
The hell? Like, what? It's like 365.
Yeah.
And that's probably like your mind is going in all these different places.
Yeah.
Ask questions. You're going to have to.
Yeah. And I wish this man all the best.
I
think this could open up a whole other exciting sexual story for him and his wife. I hope anyways.
It definitely could do. I hope so. I hope that's the good bit that comes out of this.
I know.
But, like I always say, lying's not good.
Lying's not good, but sometimes you don't need to tell the whole truth.
No, but she didn't tell any of the truth, Susie.
She well, now she has.
She left the whole chapter out.
See, it might have been better if she just left it the whole way out, though.
I know.
But
anyway,
what do you guys think? Should she have told him, or maybe she should have kept it to herself? Or what is this guy going to do now? What do you guys think? We want to know what you guys think about it.
Have you had a similar kind of thing, like you found?
Were you a dominatrix? Because we want to know.
Have you found out something completely crazy?
Yeah,
like completely crazy and different to the person that you're with.
Crazy.
That you could never imagine them doing.
Yeah.
Have you found that out?
We want to know, guys. You guys can go to sharingmytruth.com where you can actually email us or send us a voicemail, or go to sharingmytruthpod at any of our socials and DM us there to chat with us more about it.
Sounds good.
We'll talk to you soon, guys.
Bye,
Have a wonderful day.
Next time.
Thanks so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast and follow us on social at Sharing My Truth Pod, and leave us a voicemail on our website, sharingmytruth.com, to share your stories and experiences with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.